Most people do not fail because of bad lighting. They fail because they lose people in three places: the promise, the pace, and the payoff. And the crazy part, YouTube already shows you where that happens. It literally marks your intros, your spikes, your deeps, and your top moments inside audience retention. So if your videos are not getting watched, do not blame the algorithm, because YouTube has been very clear. The system is trying to recommend videos people actually choose to watch and enjoy, with a focus on long-term viewer satisfaction. So in this video, I'm going to break down 3 components that get people watching. And by the end, I'll give you a simple test you can use before you post anything. If your video fails this test, you'll know exactly what to fix. The first component is the hook. And no, the hook is not just your first sentence. The hook starts before people even press play. It starts with the packaging, your title, your thumbnail, the promise. YouTube even recommends checking click-through rate on the home and suggested in the first 24 hours, because that tells you whether people are actually interested enough to click. So let's make this simple. A strong hook usually does 3 things. It tells me what this is, tells me why I should care, and it gives me the reason to stay. A very simple hook formula is outcome plus tension plus clarity. Like this: here's why your videos lose viewers in the first 30 seconds. Or, I changed one editing habit and my retention instantly improved. Or, this is the hook mistakes that makes good content feel boring. Bad hooks are usually vague, slow, or self-centered. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Nobody cares yet. You have not earned their attention. Good hooks create an information gap. Psychologist George Lowenstein described curiosity as something that happens when people feel a gap between what they know and what they want to know. Even a small amount of information can increase curiosity. That means your job is not to explain everything in the first 5 seconds. Your job is to make people feel, I need to know the rest. So, when you write your hook, ask yourself, what is the result? What is the tension? Why should they stay until the end? Because if your opening gives the whole answer too early, there's no reason to keep watching. And if you say something useful at all, they scroll. Also, YouTube's own retention tools single out the intro. That report tells you what percentage of viewers are still watching after the first 30 seconds. And it actually recommends experimenting with your first 30 seconds if people are dropping off early. So yes, the hook matters a lot. But hook alone is not enough, because a great opening can still lead to a dead video if the rest of the video feels slow. This is where the most creatives get confused. Retention editing is not just fancy jump cuts. It is not random zooms. It is not throwing captions and sound effects at every second. Retention editing means this: remove friction and add momentum and keep rewarding attention. YouTube's retention report gives you 4 really useful signals. Flat sections usually mean people stayed with that part. Gradual decline means interest is fading. Spikes usually mean people rewatch or share that moment. And deeps mean viewers skip ahead or left out or left at that point. That is gold, because now editing stops being guesswork. If you see a dip every time you start rumbling, that's not bad luck, that's feedback. If you see spikes when you show a case study, a reveal, or a visual example, most of your audience telling you, more of this. Here's the real job of editing. Make the next 5 seconds easy to watch, then do it again, and again, and again. That usually comes down to 5 things. First, cut dead space. If a pause does not build tension, cut it. Second, change visual states. Talking head, B-roll, screen recording, text on zoom, wide shot, over the shoulder, give the eyes something new. Third, use pattern interrupts with purpose, not for decoration, but for clarity. A visual change should either reset attention, explain something faster, or intensifies emotion. Fourth, preview what's coming. Tiny lines like, here's the part most people miss. Or, but this only works if you do the next step. Or, that sounds smart, but here's where it breaks. That keeps the brain leaning forward. Fifth, segment the information. Do not dump everything in one long wall of explanation. Richard Mayer's segmentation principle says, people learn better when multimedia information is presented in bite-sized segments rather than one continuous block. That matters a lot for videos, because viewers do not only leave when content is boring, they also leave when it feels heavy, confusing, or mentally crowded. So, if your topic is complex, break it into small, clear sections. Name the sections, signal the transitions, let the viewer feel progress. So, Here's a simple trick. Every 15 to 30 seconds, give the viewer one of these. A reset, a revelation, a reaction, or a reward. A reset changes the format. A reveal gives new information. A reaction adds emotion. A reward makes them feel the watch is paying off. That is retention editing. Not chaos, not over-editing, just smart pacing. Now, here is the part almost nobody talks about enough. Even if your hook is great and your retention editing is solid, people still leave if your video has no payoff structure. Because viewers are always asking one silent question. Where is this going? If the video feels like it is wandering, they leave. If the video feels like it is building towards something, they stay. So, one of the best things you can do is to give the destination early and save the full process for later. Tell them what they're going to get, show them what is possible, then walk them there. That taps into curiosity again. You are giving enough information to create desire, but so much that the journey disappears. Every clear structure for almost every educational video is problem, pattern, and process. So, example for a problem is, what is going wrong? For the pattern, why does it keep happening? And for the process, what should I do instead? So for this topic, it sounds like this. Your videos are losing viewers. They are losing viewers because your promise, pace, or payoff is weak. Here's how to fix each one. That structure feels satisfying because the viewer knows where they are. And more importantly, they can feel that an answer is coming. Another simple structure is now, next, later. Now is something like what matters first. Next, what keeps people watching. Later, what makes them finish. That is why the best video feels easy to follow. They are not just edited well, they are organized well. So if your content feels informative but not watchable, this is probably the missing piece. So here's the full idea. The hook gets the click, retention editing keeps attention moving, payoff structure gives the viewer a reason to finish. And if you want a simple pre-upload test, use this. Would a stranger click this? Would they understand the first 10 seconds? Would each next section feel worth staying for? If the answer is no to any of those, that is your bottleneck. And after you post, do not guess. Check the data, look at the CTR for packaging, look at the intel percentage after 30 seconds, look at the dips, look at the spikes. If the CTR is weak, fix the title and thumbnail. If the CTR is strong but retention is weak, fix the opening. If later section dips, tighten the pacing or segment the explanation better. And if one moment spikes, move that kind of value earlier in the future videos. If you want my ultimate social media guide with plug-and-play optimization and hook ideas, click the link below. And also, if you need any help with your social media marketing, you can always book a free strategy call on the link below.